Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. Rabbi zidni ilma. एक मिनट यार, गो लाइफ का मैसेज भी मुझे ही भेजना है, सॉरी. All right. Okay. So we have been having these sessions on how do we fix our character, how do we improve our taqwa, how do we improve as Muslims, how do we improve our inner state. These are the discussions we've been having, and a lot has been discussed as to what we should be doing, what we should be staying away from. And Sheikh Adil Saab mentioned specifically about staying in a good company last time. Saif, wake up. Wake up, okay? You can't go to sleep. So he specifically mentioned about ensuring that we sit in a good company, which helps us attain taqwa, which helps us improve us. Today I will specifically touch upon a very important aspect also, which is part of staying in a good company, which is that it is essential and very important, and that is how the entire setup is. That yes, you do attain taqwa by all what has been mentioned until now, that you ensure you improve your prayers, you reflect on the Quran, you stay away from bad deeds and all that. But a very basic ingredient in achieving all what has been covered until now is that we have a mentor on this journey which can help us while we are trying to achieve all of that. It is a very common concept, a very basic concept, which has been incorporated by almost every professional path across the board, but for some reason when it comes to our deen, this has been neglected. So I come from the finance fraternity. Even before we get a professional tag on us, we have to spend 3 to 4 years as a trainee under experts who we will work with, and they will guide us. Okay, this is what we are doing right, this is what we are doing wrong, and there's a prolonged journey which goes through, and eventually then you go on, and then you can do your own practice or move ahead. Even when people become doctors, they have to do house jobs, work under professional certified doctors, and then basically they learn what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, what they've done wrong, what they've done right, and then eventually they go through this learning path. So what I'm trying to say is over here is, yes, definitely acting on the Quran, acting on what has been guided by Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as to what needs to be done and what doesn't have to be done, that is what will eventually ensure that we attain taqwa. But it is very important that we have a mentor on this role, on this path, who helps us achieve this. Name me any any world class sportsman who has reached that level without having a coach. You will not find any. You will not find any. So why is it that something as important as what we've been speaking about, that we get that character which takes us to Jannah, that Kalbe Salim, that Nafse Mutmainna, attaining that we believe that we can do it on our own. It has somewhat become a stigma over the years that, okay, these guys are very backward, that they are under a sheikh. Okay, don't call it a sheikh, let's call it a mentor. There's a new tag, right? As in, you use a fancy word. You don't want to use mentor, let's use life coach. Nowadays, everyone is talking about, okay, I have a life coach. And the moment you say I have a life coach, oh, that this means this guy is really serious about something, right? Yeah, this is the in word these days. Okay, I'm getting my life coaching done. So we're ready to pay thousands and thousands to somebody who pays us for the, who charges us for that. But for some reason, if you tell someone that, okay, I have an Islahi relationship with a certain sheikh or with a certain murabbi, then it comes, oh, I think these guys are backward. What, man, we guys are in the 21st of century. What are you talking about? So that is very important that we have a mentor on this role. Why is it important? Why is it important? The fact is that, see, when you will try and act on all what has been taught in these sessions, it's not a fancy road that, okay, fine, you start, okay, you've been told, okay, do this 10 things, and you will start doing this 10 things, and everything is going to be rosy, and all the boxes will start getting ticked. Okay, fine, this is also going well, that is also going well, and I've been able to achieve. There's going to be ups and downs and ups and downs. There are going to be pitfalls which your mentor already knows that you're going to go through that, and you will need some guidance. So there is one way. I'm not saying that having a mentor is the only way by which you can achieve all of this, but for me it just makes very common sense that, okay, for example, if I have to reach from point A to point B, one way is I don't know the path, I ask someone the way, that, okay, fine, I need to go from A to AB. Somebody's told me, okay, fine, you have to go like this and like that. And then while I'm going, there's going to be some challenges on the way. Okay, I go here, I go here, I go here, I go here, there, here, there, and then eventually reach over here. And one of the ways is, okay, fine, I find a guide, and it tells me, okay, let's come through, and then it just takes me point A to point B straight over there. It just, the time I'm going to save on that, the challenges I'm going to save on that. So it just makes very common sense, but somehow or the other, we are just neglecting this very concept that, okay, I just don't need anyone on this path, and I'm on my own. A horse, an untrained horse, and a trained horse, how different it is. Does the horse just train itself on its own? It needs someone, right? It needs someone. It goes through a training path, and eventually he comes out to be a trained horse, and then the wonders you can do with that trained horse are different. So we really need to reflect on this and try and find someone whom we can listen to and act on it. The next question over here is it very clear that having a mentor is important, or you guys still feel, no, this is something which is doable on its own? I'm not saying it is not doable at all, but the setup is that only. As in, if you want to be an expert in this field, you want to really work on yourself, if you're very serious about it, you cannot do it without a mentor. You cannot do it without a mentor. You will definitely need someone to take you through it. There are stages which will come, which you might reflect in a certain way, and it might mean a certain way. I've shared this thing with my friends earlier also. So there was once a time which came in my life, I would wake up for Fajr, and there would be a very pleasant smell coming out of my hand for some reason. For some reason it was coming. And I got an external audit also done. I asked my wife also, can you check what's happening? She's like, khushbu aa rahi hai. Now if I didn't have anybody to consult to, I would be like, kahin to pahunch gaya hu. I would be thinking, man, I have achieved something. But Alhamdulillah, because I had someone whom I could speak to and refer to, I asked Sheikh Sahib, this is what is happening. He told me, istighfar karo. गुनाहों से तौबा करो, ये शैतान भटका रहा है. He's taking you through these ways. Now, if I don't have anybody as a mentor, I could have interpreted that as whatever I could. And then when I started doing istighfar, it just went away. It just went away. The fact is that he knows this path. It was very easy for me to come out of this, or else it would have taken me, I don't know how long, until I would have identified and what all wrong I would have done. That would, the time it saved me, the effort it saved me, and the consequences it saved me. That is why having a mentor is very, very, very important. The question is, how do I find a mentor? How do I find a mentor? As in, that's next question, right? How do I find a good doctor? If you want to find a good, if you have to find a good doctor, are you going to come and ask me, who's a finance professional, that okay, I need to get my knee surgery done. Can you tell me which is the best doctor? You're gonna you will be speaking to the people of that field, right? That okay, fine, I need to get this done. Whom should I go to? That is how you find a mentor also. This is also a field, right? There are people who specialize in this field. You will go and speak to them. Okay, I need to find a mentor. Who do you think can help me with this? The people of that field can tell you, okay, this guy is a really good mentor. You can go and speak to him. He will help you. Nowadays, the things have changed the other way around. Students are judging their teachers. No, I think he's not a good one because of A, B, and C. You're still a student of that field. How can you judge a teacher? I just don't get this, that students are judging the teacher. After a teacher teaches a class, the students are given a feedback form. Can you please give points to the teacher? You're still a student. How can you even judge a teacher of that field? So the way how you find a mentor is that you speak to people of that field. Okay, fine, I need to have a mentor. Can you tell me which one can I refer to? The second thing is, definitely there are mentors, there are various mentors around, but there's going to be some munasibat with you also. You have an attitude, right? You have a personality. Somehow you need to ensure that you cling to that person. If you're a person who lives in the hustle bustle of Dubai and you get a mentor who's in a village in, I don't know which part of a village of Pakistan, the personalities are not going to match. The personalities will never match. He will never be able to understand the challenges which you have. Yeah. Then how will you be able to communicate? How will you be able to understand? That is not going to work at all. So the second is, you need to find someone who can understand your challenges. Yeah. So if somebody has not, if there is a mentor who has never gone through your challenges, how will he be able to guide you on that? Not every mentor will be able to guide. If you have certain challenges, you live in a certain environment, right? If he's never faced that environment, you cannot do that. Why is having a mentor very important? One of the other things which I forgot to highlight is, again, in our professional worlds, right? You will see the top companies, they get external audits done. They'll get external consultants on board that who will tell you this is where you did. And when you get a consultant on board, right, they'll tell you this is where you're standing today. This is what the problems are, and this is what you need to do. There is a reason why maybe the internal people are not qualified enough, or do not have those lens to identify what problems there are. That is why you get the external people on board, right? जोर से उठा दें, कारी साहब जाग जाएं प्लीज. तो there is a reason, right? As in, again, it is a food for thought, right? As in, when we do it at that level, then something as important as my own very self, why am I not ready to adopt these best practices on my own very own self, right? Yeah, we all see, okay, the best of the companies, best of corporates, they get external consultants on board, they'll get external audits done, they will, and they want the best practices to be done, so they'll get the guests, they'll get the best people from outside to have a magnified view on them, adopt them and all that. But when it comes to my own very self, okay, nahi, मैं खुद कर लूंगा, I'll just carry on my own. Something as important as getting into Jannah or ending up in Jahannam. But we're like, okay, fine, nahi, I can manage it. मैं कर लूंगा, मैं खुद ही कर लूंगा. This is, I think, either we're not serious about it, we're not really passionate about it, or we just don't think it's not that serious. मतलब जो मसले की जो अहमियत है वो शायद हम में बैठी नहीं है कि यार नहीं, ये तो जन्नत और जहन्नम का मसला है. ये सिर्फ ये नहीं है कि अच्छा यार ये यहाँ पे 6,000 dirham कमा लूंगा और 5,000 dirham कमा लूंगा, चलो 1,000 dirham की बात है. This is as serious as getting into Jannah and Jahannam. But then we are like, नहीं यार, काम चला लेंगे. So we've spoken about how do you find a mentor. The next thing which I want to speak to you about is how do you actually benefit from the mentor. Now you've got the mentor, you've got the gym membership. Now is the gym membership enough? Huh? 500 dirhams going on a monthly basis, gym membership, and I'm sitting at home chillax. Will I get the muscles? Huh? Will I get the six packs? No, I won't. I will not get the six pack. The gym membership will not help me. Seriously, huh? I'll get one family pack. That's it. No biscuits over here. Only one family pack. That's what I will get with only the gym membership. Yeah. So similarly, just getting a mentor on board. Yes. I have a mentor. Fine. I can speak to people about. पता है मेरे mentor है. I am getting my life coaching done. What are you doing for that? I don't know. I've just got a life coach. That's fine. It's just trending these days, right? So you get a life coach on board. You get a mentor on board. What do you do next? You really if you have to benefit, there are three very basic things which you have to do. One, aqidat. You need to have trust on the mentor. If you have to get your surgery done, right, before the surgery, you're going to be speaking to the mentor. You're going to speak, you will find out who is the best surgeon around. You will speak to people, surgeons of that field. Okay, I need to get this surgery done. Whom do I go to? This, and that all research has been done, and you have found out, okay, this is the surgeon I'll get my surgery done from. Surgery day is agreed. 27th of April, the surgery time is there. You go into the operation theater, and the surgeon tells you, okay, I'm gonna cut it from here, and I'm gonna insert this and that. नहीं, इधर से start करो, इधर से. When you have got the surgeon on board, right, you have to trust him. डॉक्टर को तो नहीं बता दे, नहीं, आई सर्च ऑन गूगल, ये दवाई गलत दे रहे हो भाई, ये वाली देनी है आपको यार, गूगल तो ये बता रहा है. When you have got the surgeon on board, you will have to trust him if you need to benefit from him. Similarly, you've done all the research, you've got a mentor. Now when you have to benefit, the first thing is you have to trust him. You have to trust him कि भाई हाँ, he will help me, I will benefit from him. If the trust is not there, you will not be able to benefit. If you will continue to question, continue to have doubts on what he is asking you to do and what he is asking you to stay away from, trust me, you will not benefit. There is not going to be benefit. Qari sahab, bahut neend aa rahi hai. Jagein. You will not be able to benefit. Trust is essential over here. Is this clear? Very clear? Second thing is acting. Not film acting. Yeah? Act on what he is asking you to do. Obedience. ये करना है, ये नहीं करना है. जिम वाले कह रहे हैं 3 डंबल, 5 reps, shoulders, triceps, biceps, ये करेंगे तो फायदा होगा. उसके बगैर you will not be able to build your physique. Similarly, if you want to benefit, the mentor tells you sit down. The mentor tells you stand up. कोई चीज समझ में नहीं आ रही, question. If you're not able to understand something, you have all the right to question कि हजरत ये बात समझ में नहीं आ रही, इसको किस तरह हम समझेंगे. And the mentor has to definitely be answering your questions. He will answer your questions कि नहीं ऐसे ही है. I'll give you an example. The first time we went for Umrah with the group, NUI group, so there was a khidmat jamaat which was made, and they were taking care of all the affairs of NUI. I was not part of the khidmat group, and for me, I'd always been before that I'd always been for Umrah with my parents, and I'd always seen my father. He used to strive so much when he was there in Haramain. Every time either reading Quran or doing tawaf and doing this and all that, and he would have his own goals that okay, until I'm in Makkah Mukarramah, 1 Quran I should complete over here. After every salah I'll do tawaf and all that, awabin, chash, ishraq and all that. So this is what we learned from him. So to strive immensely when it comes to ibadat. I had only seen this one flavor of deen, my understanding of deen. So we went for Umrah with the group, and because the people who are in the Khidmat Jamaat, I said they are 1 level up. So for me, I was like, if I am doing 5 tawaf, then my benchmark was these Khidmat Jamaat should be doing 10. But I saw them only doing 1 or 2. So I was like, man, these guys should be 1 level up, right? Because if they are in the Khidmat Jamaat, then they are definitely better than me. And if they are better than me, they should be doing more. So, but then again, the good thing was I did not keep it to my own self. As I said, I questioned. The entire Umrah passed, I did not question anything. Once we came back, I asked Sheikh Sahib, baat samajh mein nahi aayi. Okay, why didn't I see the Khidmat Jamaat striving? All I could see day in, day out, they would be busy in, अच्छा इसका खाना arrange करना है, इसका luggage उतारना है, इसका ये करना है, उसका वो करना है, and they were involved in that. For me, that was not part of deen. For me, my definition of deen was tawaf karna hai, umrah karna hai, namaz padni. This is all what I understood of deen. So I asked Sheikh Sahib. He said, how many tawaf can you do in a day? I said, maybe at max I stretch myself maybe 10. He's like, these guys were facilitating a group of 100 people. So they facilitated 100 people to do the tawaf. They got the tawaf of 100 tawafs in a day. Can you get 100 tawaf sawab? I said, no. I said, they're facilitating a group, right? So somebody had to take that so that these 100 people can operate effectively. So the reason why you were able to do maybe 10 tawafs is because they were taking care of things behind the scenes. And I understood that. But then what I'm trying to highlight over here is, if you have questions, ask. There is no one stopping you asking questions, but having trust is very important, and acting on what has been told is very, very, very important. Yeah. So all of these sessions which we've had from September all the way until now, if we have not been acting upon it, so it is just like getting a gym membership, paying for 9 months almost now, but neither the abs have been made, neither the triceps, neither the biceps. Nothing has worked. The third thing is, which is also very important, is, and which will help in acting on what has been told, that is having a relationship of love with your mentor. मोहब्बत से ना चीज़ें आसान हो जाती हैं. That is why it is also very easy to do good deeds when you have a relationship of love also with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. अल्लाह से मोहब्बत होती है तो फिर तहज्जुद के वक्त उठना भी आसान, एक्स्ट्रा इबादत करना भी आसान, रोजे रखना भी आसान. It all gets very easy when there is a relationship of love. Similarly, when you have a relationship of love with your mentor, definitely it becomes relatively very easy to act on what has been taught. Otherwise, it always remains a struggle. Okay, what do I have to do? Okay, fine. क्यों कह रहे हैं ऐसे? ऐसे तो नहीं होना चाहिए, तो यूं करना चाहिए. The relationship, when you have, then you trust. When you have a relationship of love, you will trust. And when you have trust, you will act on it. The fact that we don't believe in it, there is no trust, that is why we are not able to act on it. तभी doubts है ना. Otherwise, if we inculcate that in us, then it would be very easy to act upon it. So this is the basic ingredients which I wanted to speak to you about today. So as we've discussed already, there's a lot of things which have been told that what has to be done and what we have to stay away from. Sheikh Adil Saab said having a good company really helps, and it really helps because it helps to inspire you. You get inspired by your company. So when we started studying, right, back in 2014, so because I used to have a very tough routine at that time, still I do, but then the people around me, they started taking up a lot of khidmat activities around. Somebody was doing this, somebody was doing that, somebody was doing this, and I used to feel that okay, fine, if they are able to do so many number of things, I used to always feel, man, I'm not doing much because of the company which I had. But then the same company which I had in my office, if I would have just stuck with them, for me it would have been, I'm doing wonders. I think I have told you earlier also. One of my seniors, one day I was leaving from the office, so it was Maghrib time. So I was in the lift, I was with him, and he asked me, okay, where are you going? I said, I'm going for Maghrib. He's like, okay, good. I'm also going for Maghrib. He said, okay, what do you do for Isha? I said, he said, do you pray Isha with Jamaat? I said, yes, Alhamdulillah, I pray Isha with Jamaat. He's like, man, by the time I reach home, right, I'm really tired. So I just I just pray at home. He was the topmost guy in our office. I just, okay, fine. Okay. Then he asked me, what do you do for Fajr? Do you pray Fajr with Jamaat? I said, yes, Alhamdulillah, I pray with Jamaat. Oh, wow. It's amazing, man. You were praying Fajr with Jamaat. Now that was one group which I used to spend 8-10 hours. And for them, I was like, Sheikhul Mashayikh. This guy is praying Fajr with Jamaat. And when I would come to NUI, people are over here talking about doing azkar, reading Quran daily, and doing this khidmat, and teaching and learning, and that having that khushu and khuzu in the prayers. And I'm like, man, it's kachra. I am nothing. But then how did that help is, it helped me strive, keep going on. No, I need to do more. I cannot say, okay, fine, I'm doing much. It helps also with sports also, right? When you play with better players, naturally your game gets better. Yeah, I used to play a lot of billiards earlier. If I would get an opponent who is weak, even my shots would not go inside. I don't know, for some reason. And when the opponent would be better, my game naturally would go high. So that's very common, right? Even in my field, I've seen it is very natural. If you have had a very strong manager, naturally within 3-4 years you have worked with him, you also naturally have taken all that with him, and you're also regarded as one of the stronger managers in the office. But then if you have somebody who's not that strong, naturally you don't get that into. So again, company, as Sheikh Adil Saab mentioned, very, very, very important. And you get that. Yeah. अगर मैंने एक ही कलर देखा ना सफेद का, और मैंने 10 सफेद कलर नहीं देखा, मैं समझूंगा मेरा ही कपड़ा सबसे अच्छा है, सबसे साफ है. लेकिन 2 मिनट अलसी समझ, यार ये तो क्योंकि मैंने देखा ही नहीं, मेरा वर्ल्ड व्यू ही नहीं है उतना, then I'll not never be able to improve myself. And in sohbat, very, very, very important that one has a mentor. Choose any, definitely has to be qualified and all that, what we've spoken about, but very important to have a mentor. I missed one thing is, I said act on what he's asked you to do. The second thing is, you need to be in that contact also. It is very important to have that contact. Yeah. Sirf, the fact is that you come and listen to what he's telling you to do, and then you go and do that. There are stuff which you will be able to do, there are stuff which you will not be able to do. But letting him know that, okay, you told me 10 things to do, 5 things I'm struggling with, 5 things I achieved. How do I overcome the next 5 things? You need to discuss that with him, right? Yeah. अगर डॉक्टर अगर लगी है यहाँ पे कहीं, तो जब तक दिखाएंगे नहीं, whenever until you don't show it, okay, I have got hit over here, you will not be able to. How will the doctor know कि यहाँ पे लगी हुई है? You will have to go and show it to him, right? That this is where I've got a wound. How can I heal it? Until you will come, the doctor is sitting over there. You will come to the clinic every day, sit over there. नहीं, डॉक्टर को खुद पता चल जाएगा. डॉक्टर को पता नहीं चलेगा. You'll have to tell the doctor about it, that okay, this is where I've got hit. What do I do? Similarly, when the mentor has asked you to do, or the life coach has asked you to do these 10 number of things, if you do the 5 and you are not able to do the 5, you have to tell him, boss, I am struggling with this. What can I do? There is a very strong reason that he would also have struggled with that, and he knows, okay, what helped him overcome that. Or because he has a relationship with so many students, he knows how person A overcame that. He'll tell you, okay, do that, and it will help you, and then it helps. So have trust in him, act on what he's told you to do, have a relationship of love, and keep in contact. If these things are inculcated, definitely a lot what has been spoken to about in these sessions, that will get very, very easy. That path will get very easy. शेख जायद रोड से आ जाएंगे, जुमेरा रोड से नहीं आना पड़ेगा. A lot of signals around, you can't drive fast and all that. You'll be able to come very fast. You'll be able to reach very fast. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle. And by experience and by how the setup is, most often or not, you will not be able to reach that on your own. On your own, it is going to be against the sunnah that you reach it. There are always exceptions, but most probably you will not be able to reach. So that is it from me. If you guys have any questions, we can take that, or else nashta time. Yes. Adab. It's part of trust, right? It's part of trust, and it's part of and doing what he's asked you to do, right? That is the real adab, right? What is the other definition of adab? Hazrat. This adab is not adab. Asal adab. What does adab mean? To keep things at its right place. To keep things. वो जो अदीब है ना, अदीब, हम कहते हैं ये फलां शख्स अदीब है. उनको क्यों अदीब कहते हैं? वो लफ्ज़ों को अपनी जगह पे रखते हैं और तब एक ज़बरदस्त सा मिसरा या पोएम बनती है. अदब बेसिकली है कि जिसकी जो जगह है उसको वहाँ पे रखें. तो डेफिनेटली इफ देयर इज़ अ मेंटोर, his place is that we trust him and we act on what he's asked us to do. I don't know which other definition of adab you have, but I think the definition of adab which you have, that is questionable. That kind of adab is not expected. That is an Indo-Pak definition of adab, which is detrimental rather than more beneficial. Multiple mentors can be had, but if there is one field, in that field you should have one mentor. ठीक है, लाइफ कोच that it helps. For example, you can have a life coach for your career perspective, that okay, but then for this character development, there is better to have just one mentor. I'll tell you why. Is there one way to reach NUI? No, there is not. You can come through Mohammed bin Zayed Road. Maybe you can take E31. You can take Sheikh Zayed Road. You can also take Al Khail Road. They all three are gonna ensure that you reach NUI, but the three paths are different. Mashaykh mentors have different mizaj. I'll give you one example of my own. Last year, my routine was super busy, and I was not so in Ramadan. My routine was very busy, so I was just getting a half an hour slot on my own in the entire day where I could choose what do I want to do. So I've always had, because I've been in this life relationship with Sheikh Saab, so I have a routine that after Fajr I would do Muraqba. Okay. Now for that half an hour slot, either I could give it to Muraqba or I could read Quran. And if I do Muraqba at that time, I could not read Quran the entire day. And Ramadan is the month of Quran. So I discussed with Sheikh Saab. I said, I just have this half an hour rest entire day. I'm reaching home just 15-20 minutes before iftar. Get ready, iftar, tarawih and all that. And by the time you come back, it's 12 o'clock. So he told me, and asked him what should I do in that half an hour. He told me, Aiman, what do you think? People who don't do Muraqba will not go into Jannah? I said, yes, they will go into Jannah. He said, only Ramadan is the month of Quran. Focus on Quran. After Ramadan, when you get time, you can do Muraqba at that time. But if it was some other mentor also, for him, who in his experience, like Muraqba to chhod hi nahi sakte. Maybe he would have told me कि भाई नहीं 10 minute Muraqba करो और 20 minutes Quran पढ़ो. Maybe he would have told me that. Are both the answers correct or wrong? There are two different paths, right? You can take it. Both of them help. But then, if you will listen to both, you will get confused. Karun kya main? There are mizaj different. So it's better that in this, for every field you should have one mentor. Isi tarah, for example, often people have needs to know what is the fiqhi ruling of a certain thing. If, for example, your mentor is not a mufti or someone, then you should have one mentor, one mufti also as your mentor in that field. कि भाई कोई भी मसला आता है, कोई भी मसला आ रहा है कि मैं पूछ सकूं भाई हलाल हराम का क्या मसला है, ये कर सकता हूँ नहीं कर सकता हूँ. You should be knowing that. Similarly, if it comes to your health also, there should be somebody whom you should be referring to. कोई डॉक्टर होना चाहिए जिसको रेगुलर चेकअप सब कराते रहे, दिखाते रहे, अच्छा भाई मैं सही चल रहा हूँ नहीं चल रहा, क्या करना है आगे पीछे. तो be it physical exercise also, you need a coach and all that. So you can have different mentors for different fields, but then if it for a particular field, it's better to have one. Otherwise, it will become a faluda. You will that mizaj will not be built, and then you will be confused always as to what to prioritize, what not to prioritize, because you learn by this what do you have to prioritize and what not to prioritize. When you spend time with them, right, you get to know what अच्छा कौन सी चीज को कहाँ पे रखना है, कितना एस्पेक्ट तवक्कुल का हो, कितना एस्पेक्ट असबाब का हो. कंप्लीट तवक्कुल के बाद देखी जाएगी, और कंप्लीट असबाब की नहीं यार, कोई तवक्कुल का लेवल ही नहीं है, हर चीज टिक एंड टाई चल रहा है. So you need to learn that balance also, and then you learn it as you spend time with that mentor. Safe. Any other questions? All right, we can call it day. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.